Tony, where did that box go that you were throwing around? Amazon was gonna sponsor little Tide stain sticks for when you knock coffee all over everyone. Anyway, oh, and Allison, by the way, you're absolutely right on how important gaming is to Gen Z. That matches everything that we've learned at Amazon about the importance of gaming as a self-identity. So nice job over there. One of the things that I'd like to talk with you guys about is where the clicker went. Perfect. I don't want to be stuck on this slide all day. Fantastic. So we decided at the Amazon App Store, well, what is the Amazon App Store? It's like Google Play and it's like the Apple App Store. It's how you get apps and content onto Amazon branded devices like Fire TV. And what we wanted to do was we wanted to get more people buying paid content, premium content on Fire TV. So we decided that what we were going to do is have a rewards campaign. Now, a rewards campaign is when you give a real-world physical or a digital item or service to a customer because they do something that's really good for your business, like buying something or signing up for a newsletter. A lot of people ask why we just didn't put stuff on sale. I mean, if you want to move more stuff, you put stuff on sale, right? That's kind of the common default. But there are some things that rewards campaigns did for us that sales don't. First of all, a rewards campaign doesn't train our customers to wait for a sale before they buy something else. A rewards campaign can be targeted at a specific cohort of users. For example, people who have never subscribed, people who have subscribed and let their subscriptions lapse. And 3, a rewards campaign is considerably more flexible in what it can achieve. If you put something on sale, well, the only thing you can do with that is, well, sell something. But a rewards campaign can get people to sign up for newsletters. It can get people to build habits through your lowest cost channel of distribution. It can do all kinds of really powerful things. Now, traditionally, rewards campaigns are associated with loyalty campaigns. We don't have a loyalty campaign that this is a part of, a loyalty program that this is a part of. So we ran our rewards campaign separately and individually. Now, we have some specific goals we wanted to achieve. I think I talked about these, getting more first-time subscribers, recovering lapsed subscribers, and then finally, we've got such good email. If we could just get people to open it, it would be wonderful. The world would be brighter. So these are what we wanted to do. So, of course, once we decided to run a rewards campaign for those cohorts, what did we do at Amazon? Well, we do what we always do. We built a service for it. We wrote code. Now, that's not as over the top as you think, because the App Store is, of course, an e-commerce solution. So having a digital thing to interface with that to find out what the important customer actions are and then delivering the rewards, it makes sense. And it also is handy because now my marketing team can go and they can select whatever criteria they want and levers they want. They can pick anything sold and shipped by Amazon to offer as a reward. And they can do all of this without upsetting my development team, and then my development team can go off and do whatever they want to do next. It makes everyone very happy, and the marketers get to play around, run A/B tests. It's all wonderful, everyone is happy. So now that we've got the tool that we're going to use, we've got the cohort, we've got our business goal, what are we going to give out as rewards for customers when they do these important things for us? Well, if you are a net new subscriber, we decided we'd give you a $10 Amazon credit. If you renewed a lapsed subscription, we decided that the reward would be a $10 Amazon credit. All right, we're not being super creative here. As a matter of fact, we have how many millions of products in Amazon that we could have sent to these people? We have all of this choice, and then what do we choose? A gift card? Okay, that's not really sexy. That's not really appealing. And how did we choose $10? Well, we knew that if people signed up for the premium content or renew their subscription, it was worth $10 to us. So we just said $10. Okay. This is part of what we learned. More about this in part 3. And then, of course, to get people to open the mail that we sent to them, we mentioned the fact that there is a reward campaign in the title of the mail. Now, the results from this were pretty darn impressive. At the end of the day, we had 5 times as many new subscribers as we did when we made these offers without the rewards campaign. We had 2 times as many people renew lapsed subscriptions as we do when we don't use the campaign. And we also had 2 times as many people open the mail when we actually mentioned that there's a rewards campaign in the title of the mail. Now, these are actually pretty darn good results. I mean, when you look at these in terms of percentages, that's a really mighty good percentage improvement. And this got noticed around Amazon, and other groups at Amazon wanted to get the same benefit that we were seeing. Well, okay, that's not a problem. So what we did was we cleaned things up a little bit. We made it so that the other groups at Amazon could set what their key targets were. They could pick what that critical action of their customer was. We gave them a nice UI so they could pick a reward from the Amazon catalog. Most importantly, we gave them a way to specify their own cost per action. Now, this is really important. We don't want the other groups at Amazon thinking about the value of the prize itself, because that's kind of secondary to the business concern. The business concern is getting the customer to take that high value action. If that high value action is worth $10, does it really matter to me whether the customer gets a $10 gift card but only spends half of it? If we send him a t-shirt and he wears it once and gives it to Goodwill, is that really a problem for me? Or is the good thing that I was actually able to get that valuable customer action? So if it really matters to you that they wear the t-shirt, it's not worth it for you unless they wear the t-shirt. Rethink about how valuable that customer action really is. The customer action needs to be worth the price that you're paying for it. Work on whatever you want to fulfill that with later, gift cards or items, toothbrush sets, luggage tags, whatever. Let that fall out from what the cost for the value of that specific action truly is. Now, our partners at Amazon found all kinds of moments that were important for them to reward, and they kept talking about these customer moments that were critical decision points for the customer in the course of their business. Well, okay, that's great. So we kind of gave our service the nickname of Moments because of these wonderful customer moments that were turning points for the businesses. And the businesses ended up getting really good results as well. And that is when we had our epiphany moment. We thought, oh my gosh, this doesn't just work at Amazon. This has got to work everywhere. You guys have been in business a while, you're going, yeah, right. All right, with apologies to General Patton, no marketing plan survives first contact with customer. You guys know that, right? Okay, so this is also true as well. We'll talk more about this in part 3. But we did decide we were going to take the Moment service and make this available to some very carefully selected partners outside of Amazon. Now, carefully selected is important because you have to know your own data. You have to understand when a customer does this, it's likely going to be worth this much to me on the back end. If you don't know that, how do you know how much a cost per action is supposed to be worth? Guess? Well, if we wanted to find out whether Moments was useful outside of Amazon, we didn't need partners who were going to guess at their business. We needed partners that had the data about their business and knew that if customers did this, then the likely gain in lifetime value for the customer would be that. So we found some of those customers, and they had these goals. They wanted to increase user retention in their web page and in their mobile app, and there was a game that we worked with. They wanted to increase the number of in-app purchases that they made. So more specifically, they wanted to increase the day 30 retention, and they had data that told them that if their new customers participated in one of the monthly events, those customers would stick around far longer than customers who didn't attend a monthly event. The game actually wanted people to play to level 20, because once they got to level 20, almost nobody dropped out before level 100. In hindsight, maybe we should have talked to them a little bit about getting to level 20, because it turns out that there's a really strong halo effect when the reward you offer is actually a physical good that lands in a package on someone's doorstep. I mean, everybody loves getting packages, right? And when your provider, when your service provider or your brick and mortar store sends something and it shoots on your doorstep, well, that's really cool. And people engage with the app or with the web page with that provider more out of that halo effect. So they probably could have gone to level 15, rewarded people at level 15, and the halo effect would have taken them to 20, and then at 20, of course, they're good to level 100. So don't forget about the halo effect if you choose to use real-world prizes as rewards. For increasing in-app revenue, obviously they wanted to get people to buy the first time and get people who've already been paying to pay more. So what did they reward? People who finished monthly events, people who reached level 20, and the in-app purchase one was actually pretty clever. For the cohort of people who'd never spent anything, they had a $50 gem pack, zero cost of goods sold, $50 is all profit for them. And so they rewarded with a $24 Bluetooth speaker. Okay, so they made $26 on each sale. They could do this all day long to absolutely everybody, and they still make money. Now, they also identified another cohort of users, people who'd spent $50 but not $100. So what did they do? They offered them a $24 Bluetooth speaker to spend $100. And the results they got from this were really good. In terms of retention, they saw a 97% increase in day 30 retention with the reward. And unexpectedly, they also saw a 2 times increase in daily average revenue for 30 days after the campaign ended. So they saw a lot of benefits during the 30 days of the campaign. And then for another 30 days, guess what? They got that halo effect. So people were actually still spending a lot more money even after the campaign ended. This is great news for us. How about for in-app purchasing? The in-app purchasing app, the game saw a 117% increase in first-time payers. That's huge. They also saw, what do we have? They had a 27% increase in average revenue per paying user for 30 days after the campaign ended as well. Do you know how much engineering work they'd have paid for in their game to get those kind of improvements? Instead, just by adding a rewards campaign, they were able to do this with relatively low engineering effort and basically just let the marketing team go off and play with the levers and find the right mix of rewards and activities. So that went out, that ended up resulting in some pretty good results, and we were happy about that. But we ended up learning a lot of really important things along the way. And if we had to do it all over again, I think what we do differently, that's kind of a very selfish way to put it. Let me put it differently. If you guys are considering doing a rewards campaign, pay attention to this and don't make the mistakes we did, okay? So what did we learn? No matter how brilliant your strategy and how well executed it is, please do stop occasionally and check the results. Because it doesn't actually work for everyone, everywhere, equally. What we found was, in the left-hand column, there are a bunch of industries in which reward campaigns really fit well. I'm not going to read it to you guys, but I want you to read through the list. If there are any industries up there where you don't see a natural fit for a rewards campaign, come up and talk to me after I finish speaking, and I'll tell you one of the stories that we've seen. I've got really good stories for about all these industries. On the right-hand side, we found where rewards campaigns just don't work. Single upfront transactions with little or no expectation of repeat business. What kind of business is that? Well, if everything goes well, selling a wedding dress is like that, right? Ideally, you sell it once. She's not going to come back 2 or 3 times to get more wedding dresses, right? Well, hopefully not. Anyway. So selling a wedding dress is like that. In my experience, all too often, buying a car has been like that. They couldn't care less whether I like the car, whether I drive it, whether I use all the features. They were just happy with my check cleared. Other things that don't work well for reward campaigns, paying taxes. Guess what? Your reward is not going to jail. And mandatory purchases. So if you have mandatory books you need to get for professional accreditation or professional development, or even mandatory textbooks you had to buy in college, The bookstore doesn't care if you read every letter or if you just never crack the book. I mean, what are they going to do for a rewards campaign? If you got 80% of the questions at the end of chapter 3 correct, we'll give you a free bookmark and highlighter from Amazon. They don't care. They've already gotten the money. They don't care whether you actually look at the book or not. So make sure that you're applying rewards campaigns to the right kind of business. Now, if you decide that you've got the right kind of business, what kind of behavior do you want to reward? We found, in general, 2 different kinds of behavior. One-time actions, like signing up for a newsletter or making a purchase, and building a habit. Building a habit turned out to be a really incredible ability of rewards campaigns. Let me give you a story about an airline. Now, if you've ever had an airline if you've ever had an airline misplace one of your bags, what do? You call them up on the phone, you go through this infuriating phone tree, only to be put on hold for 20 minutes, to get in touch with someone who's not really sure what you're supposed to do, but takes down all of your information and spells your name wrong. Frustrating for you, and really expensive for the airline. They pay a lot for that person who just upset you. So what does the airline want you to do? They want you to check your luggage status on their mobile app. Because guess what? You'll be able to see exactly what city it was in last. You'll be able to find out what flight they're putting it on to get to you, when it's going to arrive, and you can even type in your address of your hotel so they know where to deliver it. Much better for the customer, much less expensive for the airline. But how do they get you to check your mobile app for that? Easy. If you check your baggage status, lost or not, on the mobile app for 3 flights, they'll send you a really cool set of luggage tags. For a really cool set of luggage tags, maybe I'll check the status of my bag on my phone 3 times. Because once you've checked the status of your bag on your phone 3 times, when they do lose your luggage, you're not going to call them up on the phone. You're going to pull out your app and find out where your bag is. That works really, really well to build good habits that move and channel customers into your lower cost avenue of delivery. So that's really good. Now, reward economics. These look pretty similar, but I want to make sure I distinguish this. A reward that pays for itself is where each individual action is worth more than the cost of that action. A $50 sale with no cost of goods sold is always going to be more valuable than the $24 speaker that you have as a cost per action for getting that action, for getting that user action. As opposed to, say, you have a wildlife foundation, and you know that people who subscribe to your newsletter always donate about $50 more than people who don't. But that's on average. Any one given person may or may not donate $50 more, and maybe less or it may be higher. Now, the reason this is important is because you want to be able to prevent in your reward campaign people who are rent seeking or people who are trying to game the system. People who are going to sign up for your Wildlife Federation, go and subscribe to the newsletter just so they get the cute little panda bear stuffed animal, and then they never visit your site again. You don't want that to happen. So stop for a minute and think, what is the action that's really valuable to your business? Is it having them subscribe to the newsletter? It's probably having them read the newsletter, isn't it? So if you say that you'll give them that really cool stuffed panda after they have opened 3 emails that has your newsletter in it, right? You guys can tell when people have opened your email. So make sure they've opened 3 emails in 3 consecutive weeks, then send them the panda bear. People who are trying to game the system aren't that patient. They're going to go off and find someone else to game. But you're still rewarding the valuable action for your customer. So think about how the economics of your reward works. Now, in the action that pays for itself each time, trust me, they don't care who comes and spends $50 on a coin pack or on a gem pack. They'll do that all day long for everyone. The Wildlife Foundation, maybe not. Now, once you've decided what kind of rewards you're going to offer, how do you announce the reward? Certainly the most common method of announcing the reward is, hey, if you sign up for the newsletter, or if you read 3 of our newsletters, we'll send you a panda bear. That's really simple and straightforward. There's also a really important one that I want you to think about, and that's kind of the delightful surprise. where the user doesn't know that they're going to get something if they're doing the right thing. This is important if your user has to do something that's arduous or is a long, thankless task. And by long, thankless task, I mean filling out mortgage paperwork online. What's more arduous than that? Okay, maybe doing your taxes. But filling out a mortgage application online is not fun. So when someone's gotten halfway through it, you know that this is a high abandon rate task for a potentially lucrative bit of business. So what happens when your customer is halfway through this task? You just pop up a message saying, hey, we know this is taking a while. We appreciate your diligence. We'd like to send you a really cool pen set for getting this far. Please go ahead and keep finishing. So for the cost of a $2 or $3 pen set, or maybe $4 pen set if it's a big mortgage, you get to delight these people. And again, it's just such a surprising, delightful moment for them that they're going to finish that loan application at a much higher rate than they would have had they not gotten that really cool, relatively low value gift for doing so. So think about how you can surprise people in high abandon rate tasks or during doing things that are typically really important to you, like making reservations for the restaurant on the app instead of calling the phone. All right, reward selection. Reward selection needs to be driven off of the cost per action. We had that cost per action discussion earlier. How much should you make a cost per action? Well, a lot of it depends on how easy or how hard the task is at hand. For simple one-time actions, like buying something, things that don't take very much time, you can get away with something fairly inexpensive. For example, we did a test at Amazon. We had customers play a game, and then the idea was that they get into the top 10. And if they're in the top 10 at the end of the day, we sent them this really cool $40 cool gift. And tons of people played for a long time to make sure that they were in the top 10. We offered them a $20 prize. They played for a long time. We offered them a $10 prize. They played for a long time. $5 prize, long time. $1 prize, not very much. Okay, so there is a fall off, but I mean, it's not a natural distribution curve, guys. It looks a lot like a hockey stick. And when you're talking about fun or simple tasks to do, you can really kind of start at the low end and still see a lot of success. And and if you guys ever decide that you want to work with Amazon Moments yourselves, don't tell anyone I said this. Okay, don't tell them that you can get away with doing stuff on the less expensive end. My management won't like that. But you really don't have to offer that big a cost per action if it's really simple and easy to do. You need to start looking at higher cost per action if it takes a long time over multiple days, or if it involves a customer giving away very personal information like email addresses or like mortgage applications. So take that into consideration. And remember, these are guidelines. The really good thing to do is actually do A/B testing to find out what kind of reward and what kind of effort go well together for your specific situation. As a result of having done this with other groups at Amazon, we did add that A/B testing functionality into Moments because we found out that there is no one-size-fits-all rule, that it's going to be different for everyone's business out there. Now, the last part is selecting the people to whom you're going to offer this. Now, if you've got something that pays for itself each and every time, like the $50 gem pack, you can just announce this to absolutely everybody. Everyone can be in your cohort. If you're going to offer something that's relatively simple and immediate to take care of, consider offering it to a cohort of your customers who were your customers prior to your releasing the campaign announcement. That way, if people really want to get the prize, they don't just jump in, do the simple qualification, get the prize, and run off. They have to be existing customers before you announce that campaign. Don't worry about alienating the customers you get afterwards. What we did at Amazon was we just had a series of rolling 30-day campaigns. So if you came in as a customer in the middle of one of these campaigns, don't worry. A few days later, you get to take part in the next campaign because you will have already been a customer. People who want to game the system don't have that kind of patience, and they're not going to stick around for that. So it's, again, a great way of protecting the, making sure that you aren't being taken advantage of in your rewards campaign. Third is delightful surprises. Reward customers who are doing things that are good for your business. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but it should create that sense of wonder and delight. God, I've been doing this for a while. I really like doing it. And what do you know? I get this really cool thing. I'm never leaving them. They're so kind. And isn't that what you want to hear from your customers? I'm never leaving them. Well, I guess what you want to hear from your customers is, I'm never leaving them, and I'm telling all of my friends and neighbors, okay. But that's a lot more likely to happen if you can delight them than it will be if you don't. So we've talked about a lot of different things about rewards campaigns, things that Amazon has done right, things that Amazon has kind of missed. If you're thinking about doing your own rewards campaign, don't do the $10 gift card. Don't be that guy. Okay, don't be the $10 gift card bot. A gift card is the ultimate and kind of impersonal, right? I mean, how many of you have gotten, have to give gift cards on cousins' weddings or birthdays, right? All right. Make it something tangible and physical and real, something that says something about your business. You can even have your logo printed on a t-shirt and sent out as a reward. If you want to do that, come and talk to me. I can help you out with that. But these things are all really important in getting to your customers in a way that a sales campaign can't even dream of. So if you're thinking about really engaging your customers to take high-value actions, consider what we consider. Consider using a rewards campaign. Now, I expect you guys are going to have all kinds of questions about this. Don't worry. Everyone who's got your phone out, take a picture of the slide. The reason I want you to take a picture of the slide, well, it's got my email address on it, and you can send me notes. Also, if you think you might want to partner with Amazon in our next round of Work with the Moments campaign, you can learn more about it at the URL at the bottom. I am going to be free for the next 30 minutes, basically your lunchtime. But actually, I can give you 10 minutes back, so you'll actually have 40 minutes for lunch. Guys, thank you very much for your attention. It's been my pleasure to speak to you today. I'll see you guys at the cocktail party and at lunch.